The air in the room turned to ash in my mouth when I heard her cousin's voice, slurred with wine, spill the words that shattered my world. Last night, he was really strong in my... The sentence hung unfinished, as her eyes widened, realizing her mistake. The dining room, warm with candlelight and the clink of glasses, froze into a tableau of betrayal. My wife Elise sat across from me, her fork suspended mid-air, her face a mask of porcelain panic. My heart thudded, a trapped animal against my ribs, as the room's edges blurred into a haze of disbelief. I'd always been the steady one, the man who weathered Elise's sharp tongue when she called me weak, spineless, too soft to stand up for myself. Her words had carved grooves into my confidence over years, but I loved her, loved the way her laughter could fill a room, the way her dark eyes held secrets I thought I'd unlocked. Tonight, her cousin Mara's careless confession at this family dinner, surrounded by the clatter of plates and the hum of small talk, was a blade slicing through that love. I wanted to scream, to demand answers, but my throat locked tight, choking on the question. How could you? The evening had started innocently enough. The dining room smelled of rosemary and roasted lamb, the table adorned with Elise's meticulous touch, linen napkins folded into swans, wine glasses catching the flicker of candles. Mara, visiting from out of town, had been charming, her laughter a little too loud, her stories a little too bold. I'd noticed Elise's glances at her, sharp and fleeting, like warnings. I'd brushed them off as sibling-like tension, nothing more. Now those glances felt like coded messages I'd been too blind to read. My mind raced, replaying Mara's words. Last night he was really strong. Strong in what? Her bed? Her arms? The implication was a poison seeping into my thoughts. Last night, I'd been at the office late, buried in spreadsheets, telling Elise I'd be home after midnight. She'd texted back a curt fine. Had she been with Mara then? Or had Mara been with someone else, and I was misreading this? Doubt gnawed at me, a cruel companion to the anger simmering in my chest. I forced a smile, my lips trembling. Mara, what were you saying? My voice was steady, but inside, I was unraveling. Elise's eyes darted to mine, then away, her fingers tightening around her wine glass. Mara stammered, her cheeks flushing. Oh, I meant at the gym. You know, he was lifting weights really strong. Her laugh was brittle, a cracked glass threatening to shatter. The gym. A lie so thin I could see through it. I hadn't been to the gym in weeks and Mara knew it. Elise knew it. The table fell silent, the other guests, uncles, aunts, distant cousins, sensing the shift but too polite to pry. My pulse roared in my ears, drowning out their murmured conversations. I wanted to believe Mara's excuse, to cling to the fragile hope that this was a misunderstanding. But the way Elise avoided my gaze, her lips pressed into a thin line, told me otherwise. The rest of dinner was a blur. I pushed food around my plate, the lamb's richness now nauseating. Elise laughed too loudly at a joke, her hand brushing Mara's arm in a way that felt too intimate, too familiar. Each gesture was a breadcrumb leading me deeper into a forest of suspicion. I remembered the late-night texts Elise had dismissed as work, the weekends she'd spent with Mara at her apartment, the way her perfume sometimes carried a hint of someone else's scent, citrus, not her usual lavender. Back home, in the quiet of our bedroom, the tension was a living thing, coiling between us. The bed, once a sanctuary, felt like a battlefield. Elise sat on the edge, brushing her hair, her movements mechanical. "You're quiet," she said, her voice careful, testing the waters. I stood by the window, staring at the street lamp's glow on the pavement, its light fractured by the rain that had started to fall. What did Mara mean? I asked, my voice low, barely containing the storm inside me. She paused, the brush still in her hand. "You're overthinking it, Tom." She was drunk, talking nonsense. Her tone was dismissive, but there was a tremor in it, a crack in her armor. Was she? I turned to face her, my heart pounding, because it sounded like she was talking about me, about last night, when I was at work. The words tasted bitter, each one a step closer to a truth I wasn't sure I could bear. Elise's eyes flickered with something, guilt? Fear? "You're being paranoid," she said, but her voice was too sharp, too defensive. She stood, crossing her arms, her body a wall between us. "Mara's always been a flirt. You know that. Then why did you look so scared when she said it? I stepped closer, my voice rising despite myself. The room felt smaller, the air thick with unspoken accusations. What's going on, Elise? Tell me the truth. She opened her mouth, then closed it, her gaze dropping to the floor. The silence was deafening, a confession in itself. My mind spiraled, piecing together fragments. The late nights, the secretive smiles, the way Mara's hand had lingered on Elise's at dinner. I wanted to believe it was innocent, that my wife, the woman I'd built a life with, couldn't betray me. But the evidence was stacking up. Each memory a brick in a wall I couldn't climb. I saw you, I said, the words spilling out before I could stop them. Last month at the cafe. You and Mara, holding hands under the table. I thought it was just you being close, like sisters. But it wasn't, was it? Elise's face crumpled, her defenses collapsing. Tom, she stopped, tears welling in her eyes. It's not what you think. Then what is it? I shouted, my voice breaking. Because right now, it looks like you've been lying to me, sneaking around with her, while I'm out there trying to hold us together. She sank onto the bed, her hands covering her face. I didn't mean for it to happen, she whispered. It was just moments. Stolen moments. I love you, Tom, but with Mara it's different. It's not better or worse, just different. Her words were a knife, twisting deeper with every syllable. Love. She still claimed to love me, but it wasn't enough. The betrayal wasn't just physical. It was emotional, a theft of the trust I'd poured into her. I wanted to hate her, to hate Mara, but all I felt was a hollow ache, a grief for the life I thought we had. I turned away, my hands trembling. How long? I asked, my voice barely audible. 6 months, she said, her voice small, broken. I was going to tell you. I swear. 6 months. Half a year of lies, of her calling me weak while she built a secret world with someone else. The rain outside pounded harder, mirroring the chaos in my chest. I wanted to leave, to walk out into the storm and let it wash me clean. But I stood there rooted, staring at the woman I loved, now a stranger. The twist came not in her confession, but in what I did next. I didn't yell or storm out. Instead, I sat beside her, my hand hovering over hers, not quite touching. We need to talk, I said, my voice steady despite the tears burning my eyes. All of it. No more secrets. Because even in the wreckage of our trust, I couldn't let go. Not yet. The love was still there, tangled in the pain, and I needed to know if we could salvage it, or if I was strong enough to walk away.